guys are a lot closer than I expected you to be, so I brought my emotional support notes just in case I get intimidated and lose my place. I'm gonna put that right there. So, 20 years ago, Hurricane Katrina hit Louisiana, and my life changed forever, despite never having stepped foot in the state before. The storm may have left a path of destruction in its wake, but it lit something in me that I didn't know I needed. At the time, I was trapped in a marriage that I wanted to get out of. I needed to get out of for the sake of both my sanity and my life. But I was scared. Scared of starting over, scared of the unknown, terrified of telling my Irish Catholic parents that I was gonna get a divorce. Damn it, that's what you weren't supposed to do. When an incident at home finally gave me the kick in the ass I needed to choose the courage to leave, I made my way down to Louisiana, where my parents were volunteering with the Red Cross. I didn't really have any idea what I was gonna do when I got down there, other than this vague, I'm gonna go help out the people. I heard they need help. I thought I was going down there to find comfort with my family, to give myself space to regroup and brace myself for the steps that I knew I needed to take next. And while I did find those things, the other gift that I found down there, the one that I didn't know that I needed, was perspective. I was going through the worst time of my life, but I still had a home. I knew where my family was. I knew they were safe. I still had a job to go back to. But the people that I met down in Louisiana, many of them had lost everything. And yet I still watched them every day showing up for one another, helping each other so they could continue to rebuild and move on with their lives. They became lanterns for me to pull me out of my darkness. And what that taught me is that even on my darkest days, I still have something to give. Whether it's as small as a kind word or just taking a few moments to listen to somebody's story without judgment, or something more hands-on, like creating a pharmacy inside of a mosque so first responders could be more accessible to those in the community. After a few weeks, I returned back home to Maryland, and I spent the next 6 years just picking up the pieces of my life, moving on, completing grad school, learning to love again, and enjoying my job as a therapist in the county corrections system. My life was good, but it was missing something. I couldn't stop thinking about the connection of shared purpose that I felt working alongside the National Guard, the other volunteers, and the residents of Louisiana. My life was good, but I felt hollow. So when a tipsy happy hour ended up with my best friend and I drunkenly making plans to join the military together, I woke up the next day and I realized, I don't think I'm kidding. 2 years later, and I'm en route to my first duty station, which happened to be here in Hawaii. I'm flipping through People magazine, and I come across this article, Top 10 Veteran Charities. I remember reading this one on Team Rubicon, this ragtag group of combat veterans who fundraised in order to buy medical supplies, and then they took themselves down to Haiti after the 2010 catastrophic earthquake to begin volunteering and help them rebuild. I remember looking at that article and thinking, you've got to be fucking kidding me. You mean I could have just volunteered for something like this again instead of turning my whole life upside down Like, what did I just get myself into? I signed up for Team Rubicon's email list and then just, continued on to whatever celebrity gossip was next. 6 years go by, and my life is radically different now. I'd served 5 years in the Army, including a 9-month deployment to Afghanistan. And I forget, hold on. Yeah, it really does. Thank you for that. 9 months ago, this is the part I forgot, babe. It was probably your laugh. I was happily remarried to my one true love. And I was trying to figure out my way through life post-military. My transition had been harder than I had expected it. We were living back in Maryland, and I was about 6 months into civilian life when a disastrous flood hit Ellicott City just outside of Baltimore. When I got the email from Team Rubicon, I signed up right away. The second I stepped foot onto the forward operating base, something in my chest settled. And the evenings that I spent sitting around a campfire with my fellow volunteers, laughing, crying, processing the day while doing foot masks and face masks, told me I was home. They helped me remember my light. Their light helped me remember my light. They helped me find my spark again. I'm telling you this story because the world feels disconnected right now. It is loud, it is busy, and it is divisive. But through all that, I invite you to remember that we have far more in common than we do differences. And that making a change in the world doesn't have to require a platform or wealth or power. It also doesn't have to require doing something completely radical like joining the Army at a mature age or getting a divorce, but you do you. I'm gonna trust that you know what you need here. It is the small steps that lead to big leaps. And I want you to remember that all of those steps build up, and that when we trust ourselves to just start taking the one in front of us, we become lanterns to light the way for others. So I invite you to do something with me right now. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. It's not so you don't see me walk over here to my notes again. I want you to take a deep breath. As you do that, you might even notice some of that chaos, that busyness I referred to earlier. And as you take this next breath, just invite you to make the decision to let that go. And maybe even you can tune into the connection all around you. Everybody here today is here from a place of love. You came here for one of these 5 people who are in Hawaii Kai Talks, and I invite you to feel that. And then I invite you to think of something small someone has done for you before. Something they probably didn't even think twice about, but maybe it changed your day. Maybe it changed your week. Maybe even your life. I invite you to remember that so clearly that you feel it in your body now. Now imagine being that person for somebody else. That's the ripple. That's the spark. That's the lantern. And as you open your eyes, I invite you to remember We don't wait for the lights to come on. We light the way together. Thank you.